Coming to you live from Angkasa Puri, I'm Brendan Lepal, and this is News at 10. Making the headlines tonight. 1.3 billion ringgit for Kedah flood mitigation project announced. And mobile network operators remain committed to DNB. The Yang di-Pertuan Agong Al-Sultan Abdullah Riayatuddin Al-Mustafa Billah Shah today decreed that mosques should never be used as a place to insult fellow Muslims, fight, or as a political arena. His Majesty said that the mosque should be used as an institution that leads the way of goodness, a centre of Muslim activities, and even serves as a candle that illuminates the local community.
Saya memang tidak membenar mana-mana pihak yang mempolitikkan rumah Allah ini. Jadilah ini satu ingatan kepada kita semua. Dan saya harap tidak ada yang mempertikaikan arahan ini. Ini adalah untuk kesejahteraan dan kebaikan bersama kita umat Islam dan orang Melayu kita.
In addition, His Majesty is also of the view that the mosque is not only a centre for religious worship, but can be developed with various other functions, including economic activities, sports, associations, learning, and community. Meanwhile, Al-Sultan Abdullah also ordered that the management of the mosque involves those from non-Muslim communities so that they are closer to the Muslims and also understand the religion of Islam better, in addition to actively attracting youths and teenagers to be involved in improving the mosque. The Keluarga Malaysia idea mooted by the government is not just mere rhetoric or a slogan. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri Yaakob explained the idea was the spirit that the government had instilled in the administration of the country, where the interests and well-being of the people are preserved, just like taking care of a family. When opening the Kedah leg of the Keluarga Malaysia Aspirations Tour, AKM, at the Darul Aman Stadium today, he said, at the moment, the priority of all quarters must be to restore the country's economic growth as well as aiding those in need, regardless of race, ethnicity or religion.
Bagi merealisasikan hasrat kerajaan untuk menjadikan Malaysia sebagai sebuah negara maju dan berpendapatan tinggi, kuncinya ada di tangan kita seluruh keluarga. Ini kerana hanya dengan keharmonian sahaja kita mampu mendapatkan kesejahteraan politik dan kemakmuran ekonomi. Oleh itu saya mengajak seluruh keluarga Malaysia untuk terus teguh bersama menjadi sebuah keluarga Malaysia yang hadis sejahtera.
And at the same event, Datuk Seri Ismail Sabri said the government has allocated 1.3 billion ringgit under the 12 Malaysia Plan 12MP for 7 flood mitigation programs in Kedah. The Prime Minister said the projects include those involving Sungai Pendang, Sungai Kedah, Anak Bukit, Baling, Kuala Pegang and Bandar Jitra Selatan.
Melihat kepada isu politik hidup dan kesejahteraan keluarga miskin tegar dan miskin, kerajaan telah memperkenalkan program perumahan rakyat miskin ataupun PRT dengan menyediakan kediaman yang lebih selesa dan stabil. Bagi memenuhi inisiatif ini, sebanyak 844 unit rumah
He said the government plans to build the North Regional Cancer Centre, PKWU, in Sungai Petani with allocations under the 4th rolling plan of the 12th MP. He added that the government has allocated 1.13 billion ringgit for the development of schools and educational institutions, involving 109 new and existing projects for the future of Keluarga Malaysia in Kedah. The government has also spent 425 million ringgit to upgrade Federal Route 7 from the Lenchongan Barat intersection to the Tiga Kamboja intersection, in addition to allocating 526 million ringgit to upgrade the Gerik Kupang Lunas Road. Two mobile network operators, MNOs, decision not to subscribe for Digital Nasional Berhad's DNB shares will not have a major impact on the government's financially, as it is understood that several local and foreign banks are prepared to finance the 5G implementation in Malaysia. Finance Minister Tengku Datuk Seri Zafrul Tengku Aziz said this also reflects the confidence of the private sector in the country's 5G development plan.
Dengan kesemua enam syarikat di mana pada mulanya semua 6 syarikat telah bersetuju kita bagi tempoh sampai 31 Ogos. Pada 31 Ogos dua syarikat mula-mula kata ya, tetapi pada saat-saat terakhir telah mengatakan mereka tidak mahu atas sebab-sebab mereka sendirilah. Tak apa, jadi kita kata okey, kalau begitu yang lagi 4 kata yes, but because pada mulanya 6, jadi kalau 4 sudah macam disebut tadilah, shareholding pun bertukar. Kerana di sini kerajaan.
He also said that although the government's policy is to prioritize domestic MNOs, it does not rule out the possibility of offering the remaining shares that can be subscribed in DNB to foreign MNOs. '60s fashion and ethnic costumes have been selected as the theme of the Malaysia Day celebration, which will be observed on 16 September. Minister of Communications and Multimedia Tan Sri Anwar Musa said the elements were chosen to evoke nostalgia when Malaysia was formed in September 1963. He said it is even more special when this celebration will be held at the Independence Declaration Memorial Square in Bandar Hile, a historic site which was the location of the proclamation of the country's independence before it was celebrated in Kuala Lumpur.
Dan digalakkan, lebih digalakkan lagi, busana yang bersifat silam, yang nuansa era tahun 60-an, seberapa yang boleh supaya suasana dan mood yang dapat kita timbulkan pada malam itu ialah kebersamaan. Masih tema kita mengekalkan tema keluarga Malaysia teguh bersama, tetapi kita ingin menimbulkan nostalgia saat ataupun ketika mana negara terbentuk sebagai Malaysia pada September 1963.
In addition to dressing up in traditional costumes, he said, the surrounding area of Bandar Hile will also be decorated with memorabilia to evoke the atmosphere of the past, as this is the first celebration to be held in an open arena following the COVID-19 pandemic. He said this at a press conference after co-chairing the National Level Committee meeting for the Malaysia Day 2022 celebration with Melaka Chief Minister Datuk Seri Sulaiman Mat Ali at Seri Negeri, Melaka today. The government has allocated a support fund of 1 billion ringgit to help the operation of stage buses throughout the country in the past 10 years. Transport Minister Datuk Seri Dr. B. Kasyong said the support funds were introduced under the Stage Bus Service Transformation Program, or SBST, and the Interim Stage Bus Support Fund, ISBSF, through the Land Public Transport Agency, APAD. He said ISBSF acts as a temporary measure to help bus operators who are affected by the increase in operating costs.
Pada tahun 2012, kita telah memperuntukkan 1 bilion ringgit secara kumulatif setiap tahun. Sehingga hari inilah kumulatif terkumpul 1 bilion ringgit untuk membantu pengoperasian bas hati-hati. Ini sangat penting kerana untuk rakyat yang tidak mampu membeli kenderaan ataupun membeli motor atau kereta, memang mereka memerlukan perkhidmatan bas.
He said this to reporters after launching the E-Mutiara Inter-Village Bus Service MRD in Tunjong, Kota Baru today. According to him, a total of 27 minibuses have been operating along 13 MRD routes in Kelantan since the 1st of February. Dato Sri said among the facilities provided by the service were air-conditioned buses and electronic tickets, while each bus has a capacity of 30 passengers. Next, Bung Mokhtar and wife ordered to enter defence in graft trial. Stay with us. The Kuala Lumpur Sessions Court today ordered Kinabatangan Member of Parliament Datuk Sri Bung Mokhtar Radin and his wife Datin Sri Zizi Izzat Abdul Samad to enter their defence on corruption charges involving 2.8 million ringgit in connection with Public Mutual Berhad Unit Trust investments. Judge Rosina Ayub made the ruling after finding that the prosecution had made a prima facie case against Datuk Sri Bung Mokhtar, 64, and Datin Sri Zizi Izzat, 44, at the end of the prosecution case. On 3rd May 2019, Datuk Sri Bung Mokhtar was charged on 3 counts of accepting bribes totaling 2.8 million ringgit as an inducement to obtain Felcra Berhad's approval to invest 150 million ringgit in Public Mutual Unit Trust products. Datin Sri Zizi Izzat, meanwhile, was charged with abetting him. Datuk Sri Bung Mokhtar was the non-executive chairman of Felcra when the offences were allegedly committed 7 years ago. The prosecution closed its case on 17 May after calling 30 witnesses to testify at the trial, which began on 2nd January 2020. 5 men, including 2 brothers, were charged in the Tapah Magistrates Court today with trafficking more than 100 kilograms of methamphetamine. Last month, no pleas were recorded from R. Sivaraj, 29, R. Satiswaran, 30, L. Vignesh, 30, A. Tanabalan, 31, and R. Suresh Raj, 33, when the charge was read to them before Magistrate Siti Hano Muhammad Shah. All of them were charged with trafficking methamphetamine weighing 111,326 grams at a shed at lot 11876 Mukim, Chenderiang at 9:45 a.m. on 26 August. Tanabalan was also charged with trafficking 2,075 grams of methamphetamine on the same day and at the same location. The charges, framed under Section 39B, Subsection 1, Subsection A of the Dangerous Drugs Act 1952, punishable under Section 39B, Subsection 2 of the same Act, read together with Section 34 of the Penal Code, provide the death penalty or life imprisonment and not less than 15 whipping if found guilty. The court set 3rd November for mention pending the chemist report. The prosecution was conducted by Deputy Public Prosecutor Nurul Hidayu Zakaria, while lawyer Charan Singh represented all the accused. Police raided a factory that was illegally processing liquor and seized contraband liquor worth 4 million ringgit near Nilai on 24th August. The Negeri Sembilan Police Chief Dato' Ruslan Khalid said during the 5:30 p.m. raid carried out by a team from the D9 Division of the State Police Headquarters, 3 Myanmar nationals were detained and 22,848 cans of alcohol and equipment used from processing the alcohol worth 182,784 ringgit were seized. Elaborating further, the State Police Chief said in a follow-up operation, 2 local men were also detained on 30th August and all the suspects would be remanded to assist in investigations. He also said that the suspects were believed to have been using an abandoned factory for almost 2 years to process alcohol illegally, namely canned beer, with a high content of alcohol. The modus operandi of the suspects is to identify an isolated abandoned factory for their operation and using foreign workers to carry out the operation to avoid being detected by the authorities. Dr. Ruslan said the Myanmar nationals whose passports had expired only used the back door for entry and exit, and added that initial investigations revealed that the owner of the factory had passed away. A total of 10 men, including 6 foreign nationals, have been detained by the Domestic Trade and Consumer Affairs Ministry, KPDN-HEP, last night for suspected involvement in subsidized diesel smuggling. Selangor KPDN-HEP Director Muhammad Zuhairi Madradi said the suspects were detained based on intelligence gathered on an industrial building in Bandar Bukit Raja, Klang, since 3 weeks after vehicles were spotted entering and exiting the building in a suspicious manner. He said an operation was conducted at 10 p.m. and the suspects detained were aged between 17 to their 50s, including 4 locals who worked as lorry drivers and 6 Myanmar nationals acting as caretakers of the site.
Pasukan serbuan telah menahan sebanyak 10 orang lelaki, 4 warga tempatan dan 6 warga negara asing yang didapati bertugas sebagai pekerja menjaga premis. Kesemuanya telah ditahan bagi keperluan siasatan.
He added intelligence revealed that the syndicate has been conducting subsidized diesel smuggling activities for the past 3 months in areas not usually associated to such crimes, of which is seen as tactics to evade detection. Diesel worth 97,200 ringgit was seized, along with 3 lorries, 6 intermediate bulk containers (IBC), 2 skid tanks filled with diesel and fuel siphoning equipment. The case is being investigated under the Control of Supplies Act 1961. In other news, national car maker Proton Holdings Berhad recorded its best sales month again with 15,880 units, covering both domestic and exports sold in August, as its production recovery continues. Now, the company said it was the best sales month since July 2013, a gap of 109 months, and that it remains focused on ending 2022 with a 4th consecutive year of volume growth. For the first 8 months of the year, Proton said it registered 87,481 units compared to 62,637 units in 2021, an increase of 39.7%. Deputy Chief Executive Officer Roslan Abdullah confirmed that with 4 months to go in 2022, Proton's production operations have stabilized. Proton retains its 2nd position in national auto sales and achieved an estimated market share of 23.7% for August, while the year-to-date YTD market share climbed to 19.5%. The carmaker said its export sales have achieved a near 10-year high and more volume growth is expected later this year, as Proton's official relaunch in South Africa is scheduled to happen in September. Roslan added that the company's export sales continue to reach new heights every month and are a testament to how the brand is winning over new customers beyond its home market. Petroleum Nasional Berhad Petronas has expanded its strategic alliance with Argentina's largest integrated oil and gas company, YPF, to collaborate on an integrated liquefied natural gas (LNG) project and other areas, including upstream oil, petrochemicals, and clean energy solutions in Argentina. To this end, the National Oil and Gas Company, through a statement, said they have signed a memorandum of understanding with YPF, as well as YPF and Petronas' operating entity in Argentina. Petronas E&P Argentina, SA, had also executed a joint study and development agreement, JSDA, towards the study and potential development of the Argentina Integrated LNG project. The JSDA encompasses dedicated upstream gas production, dedicated pipeline and infrastructure development, LNG production, as well as marketing and shipping, the national oil firm said in a statement today. It added that the final investment decision for the projects will be undertaken after a diligent technical and commercial assessment has been conducted, backed by conducive fiscal terms, legislation and policies. Petronas' strategic alliance with YPF began in 2014 through its partnership in the La Amarga Chica project, Vaca Muerta, as part of its growth aspiration in the Americas. India unveils first local aircraft carrier. That and more coming up in the foreign segment. India debuted its first locally made aircraft carrier today, a milestone in government efforts to reduce its dependence on foreign arms and counter China's growing military assertiveness in the region. The INS Vikrant, one of the world's biggest naval vessels at a length of 262 meters, will formally enter service after 17 years of construction and tests. It inherits the name of a retired carrier famed for enforcing a blockade against Pakistan's naval forces during the 1971 Bangladeshi Independence War. Around 1,600 sailors will crew the Vikrant, which will initially service fighter jets redesignated for India's only other aircraft carrier. That vessel was bought second-hand from Russia, which has long been a major arms supplier to New Delhi. Prime Minister Narendra Modi's government has sought to wean the country of its dependency on foreign military purchases and build a domestic defense hardware industry. It has invested heavily in local construction, with more than 36 other naval ships and submarines currently being built in the country's shipyards. India and the United States are both members of the so-called Quad, a security alliance focused on the Indo-Pacific and aimed at providing a more substantive counterweight to China's rising military and economic power. A man was arrested in Argentina on Thursday for pointing a gun at Vice President Cristina Kirchner, Security Minister Anibal Fernandez said. Several television channels broadcast footage of the man aiming a gun at the Vice President's head from close range as she was getting out of the car that was taking her home in Buenos Aires. Fernandez said police would open an investigation. The gun did not go off as the man who approached Kirchner as part of a crowd gathering around the politician to ask for an autograph waved the weapon in her face. Local media reported the suspect was a Brazilian national. Kirchner's opponent party, Together for Change, condemned the attack. Hundreds of activists have gathered in recent days in front of the home of Kirchner, who is accused of fraudulently awarding public works contracts in a stronghold in Patagonia. Kirchner, 69, is the Senate President and enjoys parliamentary immunity. Even if convicted, the verdict is expected at the end of the year. She would not go to prison unless the sentence was ratified by the country's Supreme Court, or she loses a Senate seat at the next elections at the end of 2023. Two astronauts on board China's Tiangong space station successfully completed a 6-hour spacewalk today. China Manned Space Agency CMSA said astronauts Chen Dong and Liu Yang returned to their cabin module in the early hours of Friday, declaring the first spacewalk of the 6-month Shenzhou 14 mission a complete success. China's heavily promoted space program has already seen the nation land a rover on Mars and send probes to the moon. State media images showed the pair opening the hatch of the module and using a robotic arm to maneuver equipment with the rotating Earth in the background. The pair completed a series of tasks, including installing external parts to the module and testing its functions, while the remaining astronaut Chai Jishe coordinated from inside the cabin. China launched the Shenzhou 14 spacecraft on 5th June, sending the 3 astronauts to complete the construction of Tiangong. The space station, whose name means Heavenly Palace, is expected to become fully operational by the end of the year. Tiangong's core module entered orbit early last year and is expected to operate for at least a decade. The completed station will be similar to the Soviet Mir station that orbited Earth from 1980s until 2001. And in sports, Malaysia ends Japan Open Challenge. Stay with us. But first, the Langkawi 2022 LTDL 22 organizer Human Voyage today announced that 6 teams with World Tour status will compete in Asia's premier cycling tour race from 11 to 18 October. The 6 teams are UAE Team Emirates of the United Arab Emirates, Cofidis, France, Lotto Soudal, Belgium, EF Education, Easy Post, United States, Movistar, Spain, and Astana, Kazakhstan of Kazakhstan. LTDL 22 Chief Operating Officer Shahai Zarin Abdul Hamid said they are very proud to be able to bring in 6 of the best professional teams in the world team list of the International Cycling Union UCI this year. He said out of these 6 world teams, 5 will be making their debut in LTDL as Astana, Kazakhstan had participated several times previously. Shahai Zarin also said 3 teams with pro team status had already confirmed their participation in the 26th edition of the tour. They are LTDL regulars Drona Harper, Androni Giacartoli of Italy, Uno X Pro Cycling of Norway, and Belgium's Alpecin Doikoning. Among the teams that will be part of the peloton this year are 2 local continental professional teams, namely Terengganu Polygon Cycling Team (TSG) and Team Sapura Cycling (TSC), and regional teams such as the Malaysian National Team, Thailand Continental Team of Thailand, and Team Ukyo of Japan. LTDL 22 will start with Stage 1 from Kuala Pilah to Kuala Lumpur for a distance of 157.3 kilometers and end with Stage 8 Loop Langkawi. Malaysia's challenge in the Japan Open badminton tournament ended today after their 3 remaining doubles representatives crashed out of the quarterfinals at the Maruzen Intec Arena in Osaka. Tokyo 2020 Olympics champions Wang Liyu, Huang Dongping of China proved to be too strong for national top pair Tan Kianming, Lai Beijing in the mixed doubles. The world number 4 Chinese pair won 21-16, 21-15 against the world number 12 Kianming, Beijing. Another mixed doubles pair, Hu Pangron, To Yiwei also suffered a similar fate in the hands of 3-time world champions Zheng Ziwei, Huang Yaqiong of China. The world number 2 Chinese easily won 21-13, 21-10 in 26 minutes. In men's doubles, professional pair Ong Yu-sin, Teo Yi went down 21-17, 17-21, 13-21 to Choi Sol-gyu, Kim Won-ho of South Korea. And wrapping up the news at 10 with a reminder of our top story. 1.3 billion ringgit for Kedah flood mitigation project announced. Now do join us for more updates at 12:30 p.m. tomorrow. Till then, it's Lights Out. I'm Brendan Paul. Stay tuned to Saluran Berita RTM. Have a fantastic weekend and stay safe.